Ashver.com.
Hello and welcome to Ashver.com. You are watching an interesting video on how to cope with an abusive or terrible dad? Overcoming an abusive father.
Please read the disclaimer carefully.
He is your dad. He is also abusive. For a child of an abusive father, integrating these two facts can be a lifelong journey. A father's role is the most significant male relationship in a child's life. When this man is abusive and terrible to the children he is raising or the women in his life, significant psychological trauma can manifest. Children who have an abusive dad often think it is their fault and they deserve how they are being treated. Sometimes it is the father who tells the child directly that it is their fault. A child is never at fault for abuse from an adult. Some daughters and sons believe the abuse was normal, until they begin to notice how other families are different. A child helpless and dependent upon their father for food, shelter, clothes, affection often has no other choice but to submit to his abusive control. What makes the abuse utterly confusing and harder to deal with is when the father has moments of sincere positive interactions with their son or daughter. It is like being hit and hugged at the same time. He may be a great coach, but at home he is always in rage. The confusion of a father with dual distinct personalities makes it that more difficult to sort through. Sometimes, alcohol and drugs changes the father's personality and his abuse can be blamed on the drug use. Regardless if the father is intoxicated or not when he abuses, it is still wrong. It is common for children who have an abusive father to feel vulnerable, insecure, trapped and powerless. This may lead children to feel depressed, anxious and have a hard time relating to men. These feelings can carry into adulthood way after the abuse has. If you are in a home where father is currently physically, emotionally, verbally, or sexually assaulting you, you have the right for safety. Tell a grown-up, or call the police to assist you in getting away from your abuser who happens to be your father. It is illegal for a father to hurt any child, woman, son or daughter in the above manner. He is breaking the law. When a father abuses their son or daughter, they create a relationship degrading their own child. These fathers need to have total control and gain that control through the abuse. They are master manipulators, and can often disguise the abuse away from others. Acknowledge first. A son or daughter needs to acknowledge this is abuse. It is wrong for a father to abuse their son or daughter no matter how he justifies or lies about the abuse. Oftentimes when abuse is present there is also mind control, confusing the child to believe it is either their fault, they deserve the abuse, or excuses are made for their father's behavior. Abuse is abuse, and there is no justification for this type of behavior. It is wrong. Build support. You need to get support from others. Having other people care for you will help you cope with past or present abuse. Support can come in many forms, and it is recommended that you build as many support systems as possible. A therapist, teacher, friend, clergy, coach are all people in roles who care for children, even adult children. Support can also come online. There are websites and forums to meet other people who have had similar experiences as. Create distance, set boundaries once you acknowledge this is abuse, and have a support team to help guide and manage your experience. You can begin to set proper boundaries. Your interaction with your father needs to be kept at a minimum or completely distanced until he can demonstrate healthy behaviors. Take care of yourself. It is imperative that you take care of your well-being by eating healthily, sleeping, staying free from destructive behaviors, exercising, and being able to love yourself even if your father was unable. No, it is not your fault. You need to offer yourself compassion and forgiveness. You coped the best way you could in a situation that was out of your control. You did not make your father abuse you. He abused you because he was a terrible abusive dad. It is about him, not about you. You deserved better. Feel your feelings. You have a right to cry, be angry, Feel sad and disappointed. At some point you will need to process your feelings and let them be felt so you can let them go. Give yourself permission to feel whatever you need to feel, regardless if someone validates your feelings or not. You most likely will not get validation from your father, but that does not mean your feelings are not real or out of the ordinary for what you had to deal with. Find a positive father figure. Know that all fathers are not abusive, nor are all men. Finding another positive male father figure like a male therapist, clergy, teacher or coach can be supportive in sorting out. For this article I will use the border term father or dad. However, grandfathers, stepfathers, adoptive fathers, foster fathers, men who lived with your mother and you were made to call him a father or perceive him as a father are all meaningful fatherly relationship to a child, teen or adult child and apply to this article. These men have a significant impact on the children around them either positively or negatively. If any of these men were abusive or terrible to your family, then this article is meant to help you understand and heal. A father who intentionally assaults you with unwanted contact is physical abuse. It is still physical abuse even if bruises are not seen. Examples of physical abuse by a father are hitting or striking, kicking, scratching, pulling hair, pushing, punching, biting, strangling, throwing objects directed towards you, grabbing your clothes, grabbing your arm, face, leg, grabbing you to prevent you from leaving, throwing you down, using a weapon such as a knife, gun, bat, belt, smack. A father who emotionally abuses you when he intentionally manipulates your emotions, humiliates, and does whatever he can to stay in control without any regard to your feelings. Emotional abuse doesn't leave physical scars but can be just as painful or more than physical abuse. Examples of emotional abuse from a father include criticizing, negative comments about weight, talent, education, accusing, belittling, ignoring, long periods of silent treatment, terrorizing, isolating, blaming, denying, minimizing, name-calling, locking the child in a father verbally abuses you when he uses inappropriate, derogatory and threatening speech directed at his son or daughter. Swearing at you, verbally attacking, name-calling, humiliating, demeaning, judging, degrading, jokes, discounting, insults, trivializing, threats, lying, false, demeaning accusations, shaming. These relationships are explosive because the father has the power in the relationship, even if that father is an adoptive, step, or foster father. Power can be physical or psychological. Force can be absent in this type of abuse because the father grooms the child to trust them, but it does not mean abuse is any less legitimate. It is wrong because a child should never have to deal with the confusion of a father being sexually inappropriate. It is always illegal and wrong regardless if the father used force or not. Examples of sexual abuse by a father include touching, fondling the child, sexually kissing, making the son or daughter touch his sexual organs, oral sex, penetrating a child's vagina or anus no matter how slight with a penis or any object that doesn't have a valid medical purpose. Non-touching sexual. Father is an exhibitionist. Father exposes children to pornography. Deliberately exposing a child to witness the act of sexual intercourse. Masturbating in front of a child. Engaging a child or soliciting a child for the purposes of prostitution. Child to film, photograph or model pornography.
Thank you for watching this interesting and informative video. This channel offers motivational, inspirational, valuable and informative videos to soothe, cleanse and inspire your health, mind, body and spirit. You can find a lot of interesting videos on wide range of topics here. Stay tuned and keep watching.